PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to another episode of PACTV Community News. I'm Walter Cicchetti.
And I'm Julie Thompson.
Coming up on the show, we find out what unites a very special basketball team in Pembroke.
We celebrate 10 years of successful business with Mayflower Brewing Company, and we mark a new beginning with Banana Bill's laser tag at the Kingston Collection.
We have a preview of the upcoming Plymouth Education Foundation's annual Valentine's Day Gala, and we check back in with a Make-It-Yourself shop at the new location in downtown Plymouth.
And we welcome Billy Boyle to the set as the new president of the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. But we start tonight's program in Duxbury. The Regional Old Colony Communication Center, or ROC, is located inside the Duxbury Fire Department and is the emergency communication hub for Duxbury, Halifax, Plimpton, and Rochester. They answer 911 calls and dispatch crews. PCN stopped by to learn more.
When there's an emergency, a quick response time could be the difference between life and death. Duxbury Fire Chief Kevin Nord and the staff at the Regional Old Colony Communications Center understand that. Chief Nord and Duxbury Police Chief Matthew Clancy decided to look into starting a regional communications center back in 2011, as Chief Nord recalls.
We decided we were going to start here in Duxbury. The police department dispatchers came over here. We began to hire other employees. And the first town in was Plimpton, and that was like 2013. So that essentially became a regional center. And it qualified us through state 911 funding to get greater funds to establish this, build it out. Halifax since has joined us, and most recently Rochester.
Unlike a small town dispatch operation, a regional dispatch center typically has multiple dispatchers working, who can answer the phone, dispatch the emergency services, and provide accurate emergency medical information to the caller. A regional dispatch center also has the benefit of a larger budget.
The biggest thing I think is the improved technology. We're able to get funding for technology that ordinarily we wouldn't be able to purchase as a standalone dispatch center. It allows us to send our people to better training and training more frequently, which gives the customer a better product. It allows us to have multiple people on duty. It allows us to network if communities are together and there's a crime in one, then they may pick up on something where that person may be heading towards that other community. When if we're all individually in different silos, that doesn't happen. I'd also like to think that we do better with mutual aid and for fire and large incidents like that. And it's safer all the way around, and that's really the biggest thing that myself and Chief Clancy believed to have an operation that was going to give our people out in the street better safety. I think there's a higher call volume here than in an individual site, and that in turn gives our employees a better edge because they're dealing with multiple calls all the time. It used to be when you dialed 911 from a cell phone, it would go to state police and then it would get filtered to the agency in which that person was in that jurisdiction. That comes now directly to here. So that's a phenomenal decrease in minutes to get help to somebody. In the last 24 hours, it was 201 calls, and it varies, but that seems to be the average.
Chief Nord says not everyone is on board with the regional dispatch center, especially with this one being located at the Duxbury Fire Department.
We'd like to eventually move to an independent district. For a community to jump into something like this, it's difficult because they lose control. They lose control of the employee, and they lose control of potentially the direction that the dispatch center would go. But if you take a look at the positives, the fact that a community doesn't have the liability of the employee anymore, the health insurance, the retirement, they're not continually trying to hire people and then someone else pick up that person for another dispatch center, and now they got to retrain somebody all over again. There's less turnover. here than smaller sites.
Reporting for PCN in Duxbury, I'm Walter Trichetti. Looking to pick up their third gold medal in the upcoming Special Olympic Games, the Pembroke Titans unified basketball team is putting their time in on the practice courts in preparation. PCN spoke with coaches and players to find out what it means to play for the unified team.
We've got some stuff we got to work on though, right?
Tonight the unified basketball team will be coming for practice. We practice weekly on Thursday nights. Pembroke Recreation Department sponsors our team and allows us to use the gym. So we have about 18 players who will be joining us tonight. 12 are athletes and 7 are partners. Unified sports is different from traditional Special Olympics in the way that the team is organized because we have people with and without intellectual disabilities competing on the same team together as equals.
Our team is called the Pembroke Titans, and we've been playing for a few years. We've won gold medals for Special Olympics. We've played in Boston and other places. It's good exercise for each and every one of us, and we all develop pretty good relationships, being friends.
We practice once a week for an hour. And what we try to do is we'll do some warm-ups, we'll do a few stretching, we'll do some layups, and then try to spend part of the practice doing skill development. When we first started at the beginning of the year, I would do more dribbling and passing, but as we get into the season, I try to work on offense and defense, trying to get players to understand the game of basketball is not standing still, but you have to move. And if you're on defense, you got to have your hands up. You got to learn how to stay with the person that you're guarding. We play man-to-man, not zone. So it's about teaching the players how to play the game. So we'll do that for probably about 45 minutes, and in the last 15 minutes, we'll break everybody up into teams of 3 or 4, depending how many players we have. And we'll run some scrimmages, alternating the groups in and out so that everybody gets some scrimmage time.
Coach say, defense. Nobody touched me first game. Defense. Coach say want to play defense. Hands up.
The unified teams is a mix. We in a game, we're allowed to have 2 partners with 3 players on the court at any time, and the partners facilitate the game and keep the game flowing. Now, we're in a developmental league, which means we have some players that are still learning the game of basketball. So they don't have the full skill being able to dribble up full court, dribble back. So it's a developmental league, so again, the partners take a larger role in helping the players play the game, helping them dribble the ball up, facilitating the flow of the game.
Tonight we'll be going through some drills. We're preparing for another round of community games. We've already had one weekend of community games at Wentworth, where we went 2-0. And then we have another weekend coming up at Milton Academy, February 11th at Milton Academy. And then we're preparing for the state games, which happen on March 4th in Southborough.
We have a lot of players that, even though we have a good mix, from well-developed to less developed players, it's a good mix and everybody loves to play. And to me, that's the biggest thing, is going out there and having fun. And I think that's what, more than anything, contributes to our ability to win, is everybody's just having such a good time.
A 10-year anniversary of staying in business is a milestone most small businesses strive for. When the chance came for the Mayflower Brewery to celebrate their decade of success, they did it in style. PCN joined hundreds of others in attending the brewery's fun-filled fiesta.
There's no hard data in just yet, but that line of cars on Resnick Road over the weekend may have stretched for the length of well over 2 city blocks. So where was everyone going? To Mayflower Brewing, of course. It was 10 years ago this month that they made their first brew and introduced the world to their pale ale. So they thought they'd use the occasion to have a party and show everyone what's been happening for the past decade. That everyone may have been even more than they expected. Not that they're complaining.
You never quite know, and it's been great. We had lots of people coming. They came early, and we're expecting them to stay late. We've got some terrific music, 3 different bands playing, and a lot of great food along with the beer, so it's a fun day.
Local restaurants and vendors were on hand serving up that great food. The live music, well, that was being played in what is normally the quietest room in the warehouse. And the room that's usually the loudest, well, of course, that was the quietest. Master Cantronic was getting a well-deserved night off tonight. Meanwhile, all of the other rooms in the house were elbow to elbow as patrons enjoyed a selection of 17 different beers on tap. The newly designed tap room was filled nearly to capacity. The decision to restructure the front room was just one of many that have proven successful for this microbrewery that started as a sketch and a notepad over a decade ago.
You never know when you start out whether you're going to make it 1, 2, 3 years. We had a 5-year plan and we hit that and just kept going, and the industry's changed a lot in those 10 years. We were the 35th brewery in Massachusetts. They're now over 150. So it's gotten much more competitive, which keeps us on our toes, and we have to keep making good product and paying attention to what the customers want, and we do that, and we're having a lot of fun along the way.
Those who may be concerned that the company could consider relocating as it continues to grow and expand can rest easy. Being in Plymouth is part of Mayflower's identity, and that's where they plan to keep it until further notice.
We really enjoy being in Plymouth. It's obviously a big part of what Mayflower Brewing is all about. We wanted the business to be here from the very beginning, and we're committed to staying here as long as we're in business. The community's been very helpful to us. We've gotten great support from the local bars and restaurants and the consumers. And yeah, we're growing and we want to keep growing, but there's no reason that we ever have to leave Plymouth.
Just think, in 11 years from now, the company will finally be old enough to actually drink its own product. But I'm sure at PCN we'll come up with a few more reasons to stop in before then. Reporting from the Mayflower Brewing Company in Plymouth, Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
You know, one of these days I really want to go over to the tasting room.
Yeah, that looks like such fun. And congratulations to them. 10 years, a brand new company started, and look at them now. They've grown so much. And look how many people showed up for their gala. I think it's great. 10 more years and beyond. Go.
The Kingston Collection continues to add to its arsenal of entertainment destinations, this time in the form of Banana Bill's laser tag. PCN headed over to Kingston as the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce welcomed the new business to town with a ceremonial ribbon cutting.
Tonight we're at Banana Bill's ribbon cutting. It's a great special event for this business. We're always thrilled to have a new business come in to the towns we cover, particularly Kingston Collection. It gives great entertainment for our community. This is an important part of our job is celebrating business's success.
I'm an athlete. I like sports. We started with the mobile operation on Cape Cod. The mobile was good, but it was spotty. We'd have a couple weekends, we'd be busy, and then nothing. And then when I came up to this mall and I saw what was going on here, I got excited, especially having this location, being on a corner, being in the middle of the mall. We thought this was a good fit, and so far, so good. We came in here on a Friday night. We looked around. We saw the demographics, we saw the type of people, and we saw the other entertainment venues that were already here. And it got us really excited. This mall is turning. People now realize it's an entertainment complex first and a mall second. They come in here, they have fun, they shop, and they eat later. And it excited us that they're on the cutting edge of what's going to happen probably across the United States. During laser tag, you need plenty of places to hide. So the actual layout was perfect for us. Yes, we built out a fake city inside. Yes, we actually have a dark room, a black light room in the back, but the general layout was perfect for what we wanted to do. You're looking at basically the apocalypse, the end of the world. And we have different buildings. They're labeled like the Kingston Bar, the Kingston Hardware, and it's trying to promote the end of the world type theme and a Halloween theme, which I personally just like Halloween, so I like to do it year round, and that's what we do in there.
Our ultimate job is helping businesses grow. We offer a number of opportunities, whether it be networking, educational, or ways to promote your business, like a ribbon cutting, business after hours, and events such as that. And we're constantly meeting new people, new businesses, and helping them with their passions.
The Plymouth Education Foundation is gearing up for their annual Valentine's Day Gala. This annual event serves as the foundation's largest and most important fundraiser of the year. Mark Garrett, a PEF board member, talks more about what's coming up and how you can get your tickets.
Education is our future. Our young people, our old people are our future and our present. And education, furthering educating the public, is generally considered a benefit to bettering the place we live, our community, and the world at large. This year's Valentine's Day Gala is on February 10th, Saturday. It's from 6 to 11 p.m. It's a black tie optional event. It's a dinner, dance, and live and silent auction. We are having it at the Hotel 1620 on Plymouth Harbor in the big room, so we have a lot of folks from all over the community. You can get tickets by contacting Cody Osborne, who is kind of facilitating the gala business side, assisting the organizers, and he can be reached at cosborne@withingtonandbetters.com, the local law firm in town. The Valentine's Day Gala is our largest annual fundraiser. To date, we have raised $650,000, which is in our endowment. Of that, $75,000 has been put forth to individual grants for students, teachers, and other sponsoring organizations of programs for learning. We have also issued approximately $25,000 to graduating seniors from both Plymouth South and Plymouth North high schools each year. Plymouth Education Foundation has been in effect for about 8 years. We are constantly growing. We gain our funding through various sources, contributions, large and small. We welcome all to assist the students of Plymouth.
This month marks the 2-year anniversary of Jillian Pimentel's move from Samoset Street in Plymouth to just up the road at 27 South Park Ave. So far, the move has been a boon to business for this artsy entrepreneur. But we here at PCN wanted to know, what exactly is a make-it-yourself studio? We stopped by on a night when they were making seascape frames.
The tagline is, we're Pinterest in real life. And what that is we're makers. So it's not just we paint, it's not just we sew, it's anything creative. Tonight we have a poured resin workshop. Anything creative. We've had people reach out to us and say, do you make soap? And if we don't have a soap instructor, we'll hunt one down. We're a collaborative. There are lots of instructors who teach lots of different things. It's anything creative. It's anything creative at all. I personally teach sewing, but Heather teaches sea glass classes. There's tons. It's anything creative. Photography, nothing's off limits, essentially. Art was the only thing that actually kept me in school, and it was something I used as an outlet. And then flash forward to adulthood, when I had kids, I really enjoyed sewing, and there were other people who didn't know how to sew, and so I started teaching relatives and friends, and then I wanted to expand from there. So I actually started just a plain old sewing studio. It was just a sewing studio. It was up on Samoset Street. I was there a year. But people were asking for more, like, do you teach knitting? Do you teach crochet? Do you teach all these things? And I knew how to do all those things. I just didn't intend to open a do everything studio, and so it just morphed, it just grew. The visibility here is amazing. It's a big difference from the last place. We have a huge marquee window. I took the liberty of drawing all over it with white chalk marker. It was because I like it and I think it's pretty, but also it does catch the eye. And traffic stops up there because of the little rotary, so that helps too. We get a lot of looks. The experience that I hope people will gain when they come in is, first and foremost, that it's fun. That it's a fun place to be, and I want them to feel surprised. Usually what happens, and it's so fulfilling, is, I can't believe I made this. I can't believe I did this. I can't wait until I come back, or especially this class, my next frame I'm going to make. There's certainly a concern of perfectionism in a lot of adults. It's just how it is. Some of us have lost touch with creativity, and we're afraid that we can't be creative, but a lot of people come in and they just cannot believe that they've made what they've made.
We are so pleased to have on set today the new president of the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce, Billy Boyle. Welcome, Billy.
Thank you for having me.
So good to have you. Congratulations. You're the new president.
I am, yes.
Yep, you've been on the chamber for 3 years and you just got elected.
I did, yes.
Now let's talk a little bit about your background. You have a background in finance.
I do.
That you work in currently, and you're also a stand-up comedian.
I am.
Tell a little bit about that.
So when I was living in Florida several years ago, I started doing open mics and just got to a point where I was funny enough they would actually bring me on in front of a live audience, and It's been going well now. I've been doing a lot of sets down both in the Cape and the North Shore.
Good for you.
So it's a fun hobby, and
That's awesome.
you know, I
Making
get to
people smile.
making people smile, making them laugh. We
That's
definitely need it.
Yeah, we do.
You know,
we do.
So
at the chamber, let's talk a little bit about any chamber of commerce. What is the main objective of a chamber of commerce?
So again, it's bringing together businesses of a specific community, and again trying to develop the relationship between those businesses and the people that live in that community. So between the individuals and families, specifically of Pembroke, for our chamber, we obviously want to develop a relationship with those people, creating that buy local mentality.
Yep.
Because a lot of times people, they want to know who they're buying from, and especially when they're supporting a local small business.
Sure.
It helps the community. It helps everybody.
Yes.
On the up and up. So.
And usually people that belong to the chamber register as a certain type of industry, like you're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're an insurance person, you're whatever.
Correct.
So if I was looking for a plumber, I could call the chamber and say, who do you recommend?
Right. You can call the chamber. You can go right to our website, and they have everybody listed.
Yep.
So again, you know who you're going to be doing business with,
Right.
and you may even find they could be your neighbor.
Right.
Your kids could go to the same school.
Exactly.
And it just gives it that much more warm feel.
So like you said, it's the hyper local. It's trying to keep business in our community, with our community, for our community, for your lives and livelihoods of the people that live, your neighbors, your friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Now, a chamber is a nonprofit, I believe.
Technically not. We definitely have tried to get nonprofit status because we do fundraising for both our scholarship and local organizations. But again, because we still are a business entity, we haven't had success with that yet.
Okay.
So technically, we're not a nonprofit, but
you almost act like one because you do a lot of outreach. You do a lot of fundraising for different events. Now you get most of your money through memberships, and memberships are fairly inexpensive to join for businesses to join. But you also do a couple fundraisers during the year that are really, really great. One of them is your legislative breakfast that you host. Talk about that.
So and it's actually coming up March 23rd. So we host a legislative breakfast with a lot of our local state representatives. Sometimes we have the congressman come down. We'll have Senator DiMacedo. And again, they bring what's going on at the State House to us and really talk about how it impacts us on a local level and the projects that are going on that are going to be affecting, the roadways, the schools.
Right.
Last year they did talk about, obviously it was a hot topic with the marijuana dispensaries and the opioid crisis. So again, it just brings everything that's going on up at the State House, bringing it here locally and helping us digest it.
Sure.
And get an understanding of what's going on.
And every year you host that.
Yes.
Which is great. Now you also have something called Pembroke Day.
Yes.
So can you talk about that? Because that's a really fun event.
Yeah, so Pembroke Day we host for obviously the families of Pembroke and obviously if you're from Hanson, Halifax, bring your family, come on down. It's a free event where we've got the jumpy houses for the kids.
Yep.
The sheriff's department brings, some of their trucks in. They do fingerprinting
the
for the kids.
fingerprinting for the kids who love that.
Oh, they love it.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the fire trucks will be there. So Pembroke Police and Fire will bring some of the cruisers and fire trucks in. And it's just an interactive day for the kids where you can bring everybody down, have some fun.
Yep. You have food vendors too?
Food vendors. Yeah, a lot of times Fork in the Road has catered it before. So you get some great burgers and dogs from Laurie Cook and some other folks. BBC was there with some food and a lot of again local folks from the chamber.
Right. You also have a dunk tank?
We do, which I've had the pleasure of being in a few times.
Which is great to see that. So what is the purpose of your dunk tank? Is that to raise money?
We do, yeah. We charge, I think it's $5 for 5 balls or whatever. You get to dunk. Myself, some other members of the chamber. We've had Representative Cutler in there, some of the Board of Selectmen, the police and fire chief. So a lot of good sports about getting in there.
And you donate to a charity.
We do.
From that day.
We pick different charities in different years. So in the past, we've picked Pembroke Titans Against Drugs.
Yep.
Again, obviously because it's a much needed entity, unfortunately.
Oh, sure.
As well as both the food pantries, the firehouse pantry.
Yep. So Pembroke Day is just awesome. It's a give back to the community.
It gets bigger every year.
Yeah, it's terrific. You also have a softball game. It's the police against the fire?
No, so it's
the chamber against the police and fire.
Yes.
And who wins?
Well, it goes back and forth each year. I will say that the chamber tends to have a few more wins than police and fire. But again, It's more about the
It's
fun
fun.
and just the camaraderie of it.
That's right, absolutely. You also have a scholarship fund.
We do. Yes, so each year at Pembroke High School, we get to present along with the other awards that they're presenting that night for the students. We give out a $1,000 scholarship, 2 of them actually. So
one to a male, one to a female.
Yes.
That's awesome. Now, is there any specific field that they have to go into, or how do you do the criteria for the scholarship?
No, it's more that again they apply. You know, they have to obviously write
an essay.
Yep. and again, then we have a whole committee that goes through all of that and.
That must be hard. It must be hard to whittle it down and pick.
It is.
Yeah.
I know we have a subcommittee that does it, so I haven't had the privilege to be able to help with that yet. But again, it's another great way of giving back to the community.
That's wonderful. You do a Business of the Year.
Yes.
So how do you qualify for that?
So again, as long as you're an upstanding member with the Chamber of Commerce, around September we start sending out ballots to the chamber members to say, you know, who do you feel is, you know, representative of, you know, Pembroke, of the community, and looking to give back.
Yep.
And we give people the opportunity. You can nominate as many people as you want.
Yeah.
And then we just, you know, tally and go through, and usually it's,
yeah,
you know, somebody
winner takes
gets
it all. Yeah.
somebody
Usually
ends up getting a bunch of
huge,
votes.
Yeah. And there's an awful lot of really great businesses in Pembroke that give back.
Amazing businesses. Bridgewater Savings was
Yes.
the one that won it last year, and BBC the year before them.
One of the year before, yep. And Good Deeds?
Good Deeds, I believe, won it
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, you're always seeing these folks, you know, in the news, just helping out the community, and it's
they're
definitely
everywhere
warranted.
all the time, and it's consistent. And in our last few seconds, let's talk about the ambassador program that you're going to launch in 2018.
Yeah. So again, we're looking to grow the chamber organically. So we're looking for chamber members that are already out in the community, networking, talking with other, you know, clients and business professionals, just in conversation, talk more about the chamber, the benefits that they receive as being part of it, and just looking to bring more businesses in.
Right.
Because with Pembroke, we've got close to 500 businesses in Pembroke.
Exactly.
And roughly, you know, 90 to 100 businesses. So we can definitely bring that number
up.
up.
Another 400 we got to go.
Oh yeah, we got to get everybody
And
involved.
you have after hours and mixers and things that people can go to and meet up and join and see what it's like, and hopefully they'll join the chamber.
Exactly. The second Tuesday of every month.
Yep, and it's
like
on your
clockwork.
website.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was great to have you. Thank you very much.
It was great to be here.
And thank you for watching. If you want to see the show again, you can check out our website, and PCN is also on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook to get up-to-date info. We will see you next week with a brand new PCN and PCN Life.